This question is a simple example of plug points into equations. We very clearly have an equation, right? They just put that right up front, but we're also given a point. And I know that there's a story, and so we don't think of it as like an XY coordinate, but it kind of is. They're telling us that there are 16 reptiles, and R represents the number of reptiles. So that's a point. I mean, maybe I'm stretching the meaning of the word point a little bit, but this is how I think about most of the SAT, is I have equations and I have numbers that I want to plug into those equations. Whether we call them points or just numbers, it doesn't really matter. I still like to think of it as that strategy, plug points into equations. And so let's just do that once I finish writing. So that's 2.5b plus 5 times 16 is equal to 80. So 2.5b plus 5 times 16, I could do it on my calculator, but I know it's 80. So this is a weird thing that's happening here. If I start solving for b, I find that 2.5b is equal to 0. So dividing by 0 by 2.5, I still get 0. So that seems weird, and that's probably something that would scare you a little bit, but this is why we have our scrap paper and we show our work, so that when we get weird answers, we're not weirded out by it, because we're like, no, I did the math correctly. We can look at our steps if we want and double check, but all of this is correct. So how many birds can I care for? 0. And this is just because this number happens to work out this way. So I don't really care about the story and whether it makes sense that there's an equation that determines the number of birds and reptiles at a pet store. Like I don't care. I don't care. I'm just doing what I'm told. So this is another benefit of the plug points into equation strategy, is it simplifies things so that you don't get all caught up in stories that don't actually matter. This is an easy question. Just put the number in and solve the algebra, and this will be an easy couple of points.